Hey there, my name's Andrew Gaughan and I'm a knitwear designer based in Asheville, North Carolina, and you are watching my knitting podcast. It's been about a month since I've done a last one of these, so I have quite a bit to show you and catch you up on. I'm going to start talking about a couple events coming up and then show you a few things I finished in the past month and then give you sort of a preview of some new designs I'm working on. So let's jump into it. Okay, first up I want to tell you about a class I'm going to be teaching. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before. It was scheduled originally for November, but then when Hurricane Helene happened, that got not realistic to do at the originally scheduled time. So that has been rescheduled for January 11th, and it is at Black Mountain Yarn Shop, which is in Black Mountain, North Carolina, which is about 20 minutes outside of Asheville, North Carolina, where I live. It's a really fantastic local yarn shop, and I am going to be teaching a class there on modifying sweaters. And so the goal of the class is going to be that by the end you could leave and be able to look at a pattern and look at the schematic and the measurements before you knit it and see if there's anything you want to change to get a better fit out of that pattern than the way it's originally written. And a lot of times that is a totally normal and thing that you want to do for yourself to get your best fit, and it's not necessarily a problem with that the pattern's not written well, but for example, if you have a size medium, people who might all fit in the same box of size medium might be different heights, have different arm lengths, have different bicep circumferences, even though they might have a similar girth overall. So I'm gonna have people kind of take some of their own measurements, come in with measurements from some of their best fitting garments, and then figure out what they would like their ideal sweater to be. And then when they see the difference between a schematic and their ideal measurements, know how to make their own modifications to get that ideal fit. So I think that that's like a really huge tool for people to be able to make things that they really love actually wearing and are really happy with the fit. This is something that I'm just really interested in, but this is my first time gonna kind of be packaging it all into a 2-hour class format. So I have it written over here just to make sure I got it right. So it's gonna be Saturday, January 11th, and it's from 10:30 to 12:30. And again at Black Mountain Yarn Shop, and I will include the link below to sign up for that. There are still spots left, so if you are interested at all in joining me for that, please sign up. I already had someone tell me that they would love to take it if I did an online version, because of course not everyone can make it to Black Mountain, North Carolina on that specific day at that time. So if the class goes well and there's more interest, that's something I would think about doing in the future. And also, if you want to, wish me luck, because I love talking about this stuff, but I definitely get nervous about talking with people, so I feel like it's gonna be definitely a stepping out of my comfort zone thing, but I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it'll be a really great experience. Okay, moving on to the next item on our list of things to talk about today. So I have talked about the sweater I'm wearing before on the podcast, but I think this is my first time actually wearing it. This is my Belmullet sweater, and it is going to be released this Friday, which is December 6th. And we're going to be having a knit along, which I'm super excited about. Over the past month, I finished up a second sample, which I knit for my brother, and we took a photo shoot together. I will put some photos here of that. But I don't have the sweater to show you. He was visiting from New York City where he lives and took the sweater back with him, so I no longer have it. But I will give you a better view of my sweater. First I'll try to get a bit of a close-up of some of the textures. And let me see. I can't get very far back, but here maybe you can see the overall fit. It's got a nice relaxed fit without being extremely oversized, and it has the same motifs in the front and the back, and there's shoulder shaping in the back, so it has the kind of boxy drop shoulder shaping, but the shoulder shaping keeps it so there's not so much excess fabric at the underarms. It gives it a really good, comfortable fit. So So this sweater has been done with the support of Kelbourne Woolens, who gave my yarn support for the sample I made for my brother. And I had an extra skein of it left, so I'll show you that. This base is called Lucky Tweed, and it's so beautiful. I've really enjoyed working with this. So this is the color I used for my brother's sweater. It's called Ocean, and as you can see, it is a nice deep aqua blue, and it's got tons of little tweedy specks of all different sorts of colors in there. Light blue, dark blue, cream, and then there's even some little specks of like pink and maroon and purple. Let's see if we can get this close up enough where you can actually see that. I think this is as close as it's gonna want it to get. But you can see the little like pinky specks. So it makes a really rich color with a lot of depth and interest, and I feel like I've never tried to do a photo shoot like that one where I had the two different sweaters on two different people, and it was actually quite a bit harder than I anticipated because the colors are so different. So with the settings just right to get this color to really shine, I feel like the white one got kind of washed out, and with the colors, the settings for this one, it kind of made it so you lost a lot of detail in that one. So that's some like advanced photography that I'm not really there. My husband Jameis takes all the photos, and we kind of collaborate on figuring out how to get the camera settings. I mean, he mostly does it himself, but we go back and forth. And anyway, it's a lot easier to take a photo of someone wearing a light sweater and someone wearing a dark sweater separately than in the same photo. But anyway, so I want to tell you about the knit along because I think I have talked more about the sweater and the inspiration in past episodes, but I did not previously have all the details for the knit along. So it is going to be beginning the day that the sweater comes out, which is this Friday, and it is going to be 12 weeks long. And I asked on Instagram for some, and here I believe, for some feedback from people about what they've really enjoyed in knit-alongs, what makes them exciting and engaging and fun. And one person said that having prizes throughout, so because a knit-along can be over a really long period of time, so if the prizes don't come for 3 months, like, I don't know, you kind of, there's a long time for the excitement to drift off. So I really love that idea. But I was like, what sort of prize do you have every week? So we are going to have quite a few prizes for this knit along, and they are going to be every week. And so what's going to happen is every week I'm going to actually, as I speak, I made some like little super basic graphics in Canva. I'll put them up here so you can also visually see the details. But every week there'll be a prize. So the big prizes are going to be awarded on weeks 4, 8, and 12. And then every other week someone will win a free knitting pattern of mine. And how you are eligible for prizes is just someone who has been participating in the Knit Along Slack channel. Slack is going to be where the Knit Along is mostly held. And that is so that I want to encourage people to push themselves to finish it in the 12 weeks if they think that'd be fun, if they think that'd be realistic, but there is no requirement whatsoever to finish your sweater in that time. And the point is to be working on it, sharing your progress, talking with other people who are knitting it, maybe talk about any parts you're finding challenging, get advice on yarn choices, just share your excitement along the way, get to know some new people. But I don't want anyone to feel pressured at all to finish it in a certain timeline because knitting is supposed to be fun. It's something participating, I mean, I do it for my work, and I have to sometimes knit on really tight deadlines that I mostly put on myself, but I don't want anyone to feel any stress of deadlines in this. So the prizes are all participation based, and so that's just to encourage people to be sharing their progress as they go. And so the free patterns will be given to someone who has posted a progress update within the past week, and then the bigger prizes will be given to someone who posted a progress update within that 4-week period. So I have the first prize here to share with you. This was generously donated by Kelbourne Woolens, and it is a super sweet little shawl kit that they sent to me, and then I'll be mailing along to whoever wins it. I was like, do I need to limit it to US only? But I know a lot of non-US people participate, so I'm gonna just figure out how to get it to the winner, and hopefully they're not in some super remote corner of the world that cost me a fortune to send this to, but we'll see. But there's only one physical prize, so I will manage that. So this kit comes with a free download of this shawl pattern. This beautiful lace pattern, and I'm not going to flip it over because I guess you could then redeem it, but there's a QR code on the other side of this that lets you download that, and then you get 3 skeins of Andorra, which is a merino, highland, and mohair yarn, and it's so nice. The mohair in this, oh, let me try to put them right side up. The mohair in this is so nice. And it's in a gorgeous sort of blue teal color. And of course, if you won this, you have everything you need to make the shawl pattern, but you could also make whatever you want. There's a lot, you could make a lot of great shawls or different accessories with these skeins if you so choose. And then the kit also comes with the soak wool wash. Oh. That doesn't want to focus, but that's fine. It is wild mint scented, and then it all comes in this really sweet Kelbourne Woolens little project bag. That's a nice little drawstring bag that's perfect for like throwing into a larger bag and keep your yarn and project from not getting tangled or messed up. So it was really sweet of them to donate that. So that is going to be the first big prize on week 4. So anyone from the start of the knit along until the end of week 4 who posts any kind of progress update, so that could be as simple as I cast on, or sharing your progress along the way, will be eligible to win that prize. And then like all the time whenever I have prizes, it's randomly, everyone who's eligible is put into a list. I do random number generators, so I'm not like picking whoever has the best photo or anything like that. And so then on week 8 and week 12, I'm going to be buying gift cards to Kelbourne Woolens for winners. And I think, I know I put the graphics up. I think I decided on a $100 gift card for week 12 and a $50 gift card for week 8. So, okay, it's a lot of information, but I thought that would be good to help keep the excitement going, because I know a lot of times there can be excitement right at the beginning and then maybe like a panic all at the end to get it finished. But I wanted to, I thought that idea was really great to help keep the whole knit along engaging the whole time. Let me see, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to share about the knit along right now. So if you haven't used Slack before, I'm more than happy to help you navigate it. It's pretty simple. Once you get on there, I feel like if people struggle more with technology, just like getting the account set up and getting into the chat room the very first time might feel challenging to someone who's not used to like navigating a bunch of different websites or apps. But once you're in it, it's just a chat room, and there's going to be 2 channels, and that's how I run my test knits. And the one channel is just, I'm going to post information in it, so it's like a resource channel where you can easily find everything that I've posted. And then the other channel is going to be a chat channel where everyone can share as much about themselves and photos of the yarn they're going to do, ask questions, share those updates. So I'm really excited about that. I've run a couple of knit-alongs and I've been really thankful for people participating and happy with how they've gone, but I've always kind of felt like I didn't really know what I'm doing, and not that this time I'm like, I know what I'm doing, I'm super confident, but I kind of wanted to give like a bit more structure and foresight into it to help it go as best as it possibly can. Okay, so one last important thing about this is that Kelbourne Woolens has a very cool affiliate program, which I am a part of, and through that I am able to give you a 10% discount. And if you use my code AndreaG, which I will put on the screen, you can get 10% off your order of Lucky Tweed to participate in the knit along. And I already have the entire yardage charts available to you so that you can get ordering your yarn before the knit along actually starts and you purchase the pattern on Friday. I'll link to that below. And unfortunately, I did see last time I checked quite a bit of the colors were sold out, but this color is available and there's still like at least 10 or so colors available. I actually have recently got, I can't go through all these. Kelbourne Woolens sells color cards on their website, which is really cool. I think they're only $5 a piece, which is kind of crazy because just the labor to put these together must cost more than that. But so this is the Lucky Tweed color card. So this is a range of all of the colors available. There's some really beautiful, rich colors, and then a whole bunch of different beautiful neutrals. And I think at least like half of the colors are still available online. So there's still quite a good selection, although it's unfortunate with the timing that there's not more in stock. But and so yeah, you use the code, you get 10% off your order, and I just get a small commission at no extra cost to yourself. And if you want to order the yarn for anything else, you can still use the code. It's not like required that you have to order it for the knit along or anything, but it is just for Lucky Tweed. Okay, so that was a lot. I'm going to jump ahead to show off the things that I have finished since the last time I recorded this podcast. Okay, so in addition to the second sample of Belmullet that I mentioned, I have two other things that I finished within the past month. The first is a new version of Essential Beanie, which is a pattern I released last fall. I think it was September. But it is just basic 2x2 rib beanie, but the pattern includes instructions for 6 different yarn weights, and I worked this version in Piece Fleece Worsted, which I love. There's a theme here. This is also like a speckly tweedy yarn, and it's really warm and lofty and fuzzy, and I've been wearing this hat nearly every day over the past couple weeks since it got cold here. Super warm and practical, and I love the color. And the other thing that I finished since last time is my Wildflower Pullover, which I feel like this was a large undertaking for me. I've done all over color work with more simple stranded colorwork sweaters with more simple motifs, but this is like a more elaborate motif, and I did steeking for the first time ever with this sweater. I did a practice steek on a swatch, but I had actually never steeked a project before ever. I have down here a project I worked literally years ago, and that's a cardigan. It was a kit that was a gift, and I knit it up until the steek, and I never steeked it. So now that I feel comfortable steeking, I have to make time to go back to that one. But anyway, steeking is definitely one of those things that people find very intimidating, but that there's a lot of really great tutorials out there for how to do it. And especially if you practice on a swatch where you're not worried about cutting into a entire garment. I found the amount of hype and fear was definitely not proportional in my mind to how it feels to actually do it. But if you are not familiar with the concept of steeking, very basically stranded color work to make a motif like this is almost always done in the round, so that way you're looking at the right side and carrying the floats in the back like this. And steeking allows you to work a part of a sweater like this that is worked back and forth. Usually, because it's flat, you work it in the round and then you cut open an armhole to put a sleeve in. So I'll show you. So this in here is my line of where the sweater was. There's some extra stitches, and then you reinforce and cut along it and then pick up stitches, and all those edges are then hidden away inside the sweater. Yeah, so I was really happy with how this turned out. This is going to be a release in March because it's all over color work and fingering weight. I'm having quite a long test, 16 weeks it just started, but that means it's quite a long time from starting the design to the release coming out is like a 6-month period. As I said, it's fingering weight. This sample is worked in Brooklyn Tweed's Tones Light, and Brooklyn Tweed also has a yarn called Loft that is also fingering weight and also suitable for this, and I'm actually planning on doing both a cowl version and vest version with this motif, but I think I'm gonna do the cowl to also come out this spring and then just do the vest the following spring, because I think that test knit's also going to be quite long, and I'm kind of worried that if I start the vest now it won't come out till summer, and I just want, with the flower motif and it being wool and a vest, I think it's a lot more appropriate in spring than summertime. And then, I don't know, in fall it doesn't really seem like, maybe it could come out in fall, but I just actually feel like the flower motif is perfect for spring. And I have a lot of other designs that I'm trying to do at the moment, so that's a pretty major part of the reasoning as well. But I'm not 100% decided on my colors for the cowl, but I do have my colors already for the vest. I'm going to do a purple main color. This is Loft, like I said, with white flowers, and I'm just going to do one color of flowers, and I think that'll be cool to show how that looks with a dark main color and then also just one contrast color. And then for the cowl, I think I'm going to do a white base and then like 4 different contrast colors, and then between the 3 it will extra help show how you could do the same motif with, as I did, 2 color stripes. I have an orange and magenta color stripes, or you could do a whole bunch of different colors. You could do all one color and just give some more visual examples of how that looks. So the testers have picked out some really cool color combinations, so I'm really excited to see all their versions too. Of course, that is always a great way to get inspiration, and I made sure they know that they could use two colors, like 1 main color, 1 contrast color, 3 colors as I did, or as many colors as they want. And some people are using color changing yarn like Spin Cycle for the contrast color, which I think will be super cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing that myself and sharing it with you when they are finished. So stay tuned. Like I said, that will be released in March. And now I'm going to get into some designs in progress that I have recently started. Okay, first up, the main design I'm working on now that I've just been starting on the past couple days, and I'm having a bit of slow progress because I'm also working on the Belmullet release, is a cable and lace tee worked in the Wandering Flocks. Here, I'll show you the yarn first. The Wandering Flocks Cotton Lino. This is my first time working with this yarn and it is so nice. I could not remember off the top of my head to tell you what all is in it because it was like 4 different fibers, I think. Yeah, it's 4 different fibers. So it's 35% organic cotton, 30% mulberry silk, 20% linen, and 15% baby alpaca. So it's majority plant fiber / silk, but then it has 15% alpaca to give it a little bit of that animal fiber feel. And it's incredibly soft. It's got a nice little bit of sheen, but it's not super shiny or anything. This color is called Burnt Sienna, and as you'll see, my next design is in like basically the same color. I've been very drawn to this color recently. And here's my swatch for the design. As you can see, it's got these cables and then a lace motif that separates them. And this cable will be centered and then the motif will go all across. So I was originally thinking I wanted to do a tee, but then I was thinking I really wanted to do a sleeveless top. And now I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do both, but first I'm going to do this color as a sleeveless top. I don't know why, but I just extra feel like it's pretty high contrast with my skin color, and I like how a sleeveless top looks like that. And something I kind of want to, I don't need to go too into this because I'll talk more about it when I actually have the design started, but as I swatched to come up with the motif I wanted to use, so you can see this is like a pretty common type of cable motif with it's like 2 mirrored cables next to each other that makes this series of V's, but how they're normally done, so this is across 6 stitches on either side, so a total of 12 stitches. It would usually be a 3x3 cross and a 3x3 cross done over and over. This is actually a 2x2 cross and then a following 2x2 cross. And anyway, the reason for that is it makes a much flatter cable than ordinarily. It doesn't have the fabric nearly so bunched up and dense, and I really wanted this to be a drapey, loose top with nice interest from the texture, but so this was able to give a very similar look but create a much flatter cable than you would ordinarily have. So swatched quite a bit of different things. I'm really happy with what I settled on, and then this is like a really classic lace motif between the columns of cables. So my next podcast is probably going to be at the beginning of January. I'm going to be taking the second half of this month mostly off. I will be doing lots of knitting, but I'm going to try to not be doing too much computer work during that time and spending time with family. So likely I should have this top, hopefully I should have this top completely done by then, and I think in the new year I'll be having a test call for that. So that will be also a spring release coming out April is the plan. And then the other design I have been working on is a hat. And I didn't have anything planned for February because I have a South Slope vest, which I've shown before, coming out in January, and then Wildflower in March. But I didn't have anything planned for February, so I kind of wanted to squeeze this hat in and have a shorter test because it's just a hat. So hopefully that plan will go well. So I got this from Black Mountain. This is Mondim from Rosa Pomar, but it's dyed by Latvian Ami in this gorgeous color. Like I said, really quite similar to the color that I am using for the tee. It's called Just Rust, which I've probably bought like 12 different yarns over my life that are called Rust because I'm always drawn to them. And it is 100% wool, fingering weight, and I am working this sweet little waffle stitch. It's a slip stitch texture that makes this really squishy, thick waffle look. So that's my swatch. And then I started on the crown, so it's gonna be a center out, top down hat. I started on the crown, but I am going to redo it. The shaping this time was too quick. As you can see, it's like just a circle instead of it needs to be more of like a dome. So I'm gonna rework it, but that's an idea of what the crown will look like. And then after the crown shaping, it will just go into this texture all over. And then my plan is to do it as a double layered hat, so that way it has a brim that folds over. And with a single layer hat, you know, if you fold over the brim, then the wrong side is facing outwards on the brim, which for rib is perfectly fine because the right side and wrong side are identical. But you know, this would be the wrong side for this. So it's going to be in the style of the very popular hat Muselbra, or also Petite Knit has a hat Oslo that's like this. A lot of commercial ready-made hats that I've seen are worked like this. I think they're probably like a tube of fabric that's then cut and sewed at the ends, not knit with the shaping in. But anyway, the style of having it double thick where you have the crown, the body of the hat, and then entire additional length, and then mirror crown shaping, and then fold it inside each other, and then that makes it both double thick, and so that the brim is having the right side facing out as well as the top of the hat. And then for the texture, my plan is to have the crown be done the texture, the hat be done the texture, up until the outside, the brim, and then the rest can be just done stockinette, kind of have you be done. I enjoy knitting the texture, of course, but so it just saves time. It's not necessary to be done on the inside and then have the final decreases. So that's what I'm excited about. I only have one hat pattern out, which is that Essential Beanie, but that is actually my best-selling pattern of all time. Last time I checked, at least. But of course that one has the special thing that it's made for secure yarn weights. This is just going to be made for fingering weight. I was kind of thinking about doing like some other weights, but really with it being 4 layers thick and this thick swishy texture, I don't know. I feel like sport weight would probably be fine, but I don't think it would be super appropriate to do anything too thick, but we'll see. Anyway, it will definitely be in fingering weight, and again, I hope to have that done by next time I am talking to you. And I think I'm gonna wrap up. I think I've shared everything with you that I plan to. I'm really excited about things I'm going to be knitting on over this coming month. I hope to be getting that cowl cast on and worked on over my holiday vacation as well, but it might be a little ambitious with my other projects, so we'll just have to see. But I hope that you have a great holiday season with whatever holidays you celebrate, and I hope you're able to take some time to rest and spend time with your loved ones, and I will talk to you again in the new year. Bye.